Good morning, Flosstube. I'm Lynette here from sunny Brisbane. Thank you for joining me for a little bit of a look through what I've been working on. I made my last video in January with many hopes of being more consistent this year, but this year is not playing out any better than the last couple, and a lot of things have been going on. Not the least was last weekend we had Cyclone Alfred come through. I just want to thank those Flosstubers who made a mention of us and were thinking of us and praying for us. Fortunately, where I am, we had minimal damage and we didn't lose power. Many had it a lot worse, and some are still without power. So they're hoping they should be back on by Sunday, but that's a long time to be without power. I did have a big finish, thanks to Cyclone Alfred, because I just sat and stitched for the few days we were sort of hunkered down. And as I had power, I finished my Death by Cross Stitch. I'll stand up for this one. So this pattern came out in 2016, and it was Jules from Long Dog Sampler's 20th anniversary of her business. At the time, I had no idea who Long Dog was. I had started another pattern of hers that I had purchased around the same time, and then when I saw this, I thought, I've got to do it. So my friend Jenny and I started it, and we worked on it, and then we didn't, and then we did. And I finally finished this last corner over here. I'll fold it up. This last corner. Oops. Just last week. I was very actually earlier this week. We've lost track of time here. I really enjoyed completing it and couldn't put it down. I had a trip to my sister in Wodonga for a couple of days before the cyclone came through, and got back just in time, and I was working on it before then, and I was very pleased that when I got back I picked it up again and was just as enamoured with it as I had been before I left. So I am thrilled with this finish, and I'm wanting to make it into a wall hanging. I saw on one of the new Long Dog Stitch Long groups, someone had done one in blue and it looked fantastic. So I just need to find some fabric and complete that. So that is a big finish. It has taken me 9 years. I think I started it in 2017 and it had come out in 2016. So if I've got all those figures right, this means that next year should be her 30th anniversary. And she's come out with so many wonderful designs since this one, with Pandemic being a similar size. It'll be very interesting to see if she's doing a 30th anniversary one. So because I joined this new Long Dog Sampler Stitch Along group, it just started up earlier this year. When I finished that, I decided I'd pull out another Long Dog. And I've got this one that I've been working on, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years. So this is 4 Seasons in English. And I started this one because it was part of the AB Singo Challenge from Magazine Monthly Challenge with Carol and Zucker and Robin Birdseye Stitches. So you can see here, this was my AB Singo, and I started it because I was going to be travelling, and I thought I could jump around and get to do various prompts, and it was good. And then I didn't do much more of it, and I got it out after I finished Death by Cross Stitch, and I've been really enjoying it. So this is, now this piece of fabric, I'll tell you about in a minute. I think it's 22 count Hardanger. So this is where I've got to, and everything is back stitched. But strangely enough, I haven't minded doing that this time, and it makes the design pop and change. You can see from the tree. I'm sorry if this video is a bit scrambly, but it is what it is. This bit isn't back stitched, and even though that's really delicate, I actually like to backstitch around all these things. So I'm going to continue working on that, I think. This piece of fabric has obviously had several starts on it. I don't know what that blue thing down the bottom is. I know the pink was a round butterfly ornament from Heaven and Earth Designs, and I know this was a 12 Days of Christmas something or other. So obviously I'll have to start unpicking that pink soon because I'm going to run into it. But I've been enjoying that, so we'll see what happens. Before I picked up Death by Cross Stitch, I think I started the Autumn Lane Stitchery, which was Cabin in the Woods. I haven't finished it, but I was enjoying working on it, and I've got bits of all the parts done. The part 1 is the part with the cabin, and I believe that part's finished. So we went the cabin, and then we went down, down, up, up. So the last part that's come out is, this part isn't finished. I think there's a whole lot of stuff in here. But the last part is just a few additional bits and pieces. So the last part's not very big. And this is a 36 count fabric, and I don't know what I've done with the tag. It was a piece I won in a giveaway from Laura of Stitching by the Shore. So thank you, Laura, for this piece. I finally got to use it. There were 3 in the pack, and I've got plans for the other ones. But I really enjoyed working on this with 1 strand over 2. Then, as I said last week, I went down to visit my stepmother, she's failing. She's not going to be with us much longer, but my sister lives down there, and I went and stayed with my sister and went and saw her. And because I was flying, I needed a travel piece, because obviously we're cross stitchers. You can't go anywhere without cross stitch. So I picked up this one, Crazy Cat Lady. And this will be for my daughter who loves her cats. It's just off Etsy. Company was Cross Stitch with Art, and I've had it for a while, I don't know, and I started a bit of it, and when I was going through my projects trying to work out what I could use, I thought, oh, I can see this, and I put everything in. I'll show you what I've done. I put everything in this clear plastic folder. So I have my chart here, and my threads on the back, and my travel scissors are in here. Where are they? Little travel scissors. Funnily enough, when I went through security coming home, and the guy, because I had this separate, because I had to change bags and this wouldn't fit in my bag in the end, and he goes, oh yes, they're so and so long, and they've got a rounded tip, they're fine. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know they're fine. I've already checked that out, but that's okay. Anyway, this is where I got to. So I had started, we'll get round the right way. Yes, I'd started at the top, and I had this bit done and this bit of leaf. So I finished all this. Oh, and we're still missing a colour. Don't you think all airports should stock DMC floss? Because if they had, I'd have this dark colour. So the very darkest is missing in that flower, in that rose. And then I picked it up last night for just a little bit and worked down the side to hit this other bunch of flowers down here. So it's actually a really quick stitch. So on the note of places you can buy in DMC, I'm in Brisbane, and at a suburb of Brendale, which if I walked would be 40 minutes, we have a new cross stitch shop that opened yesterday. It's called Coco X Stitch, and a group of us go to a knitting group on a Friday, and the lady who's opened this shop, Denise, she was coming to knitting, and she does knit, but she's more of a cross stitcher, and she goes to retreats. And if you're in Australia, you've probably met Denise at either down at Hobart, or I think this weekend there's a Mirabilia one she's going to. Haven't had a chance to get down there yet because I've had work things on. It's been busy, but that is so exciting. Jenny and I did manage to call in one day when she was setting up, and she's had a few little setbacks like snakes in the roof upsetting her air conditioning, but we're so thrilled that she managed to open Wednesday, not yesterday, Wednesday. So Can't wait to get down there. And hopefully she'll have that DMC colour I'm missing. Fabulous houses. So I was going to make a video after we did Baringo, which is the Magazine Monthly Challenge video. Magazine Monthly Challenge. And I had them all set aside at one point, and then when everything went awry, I've just put them away and I haven't bothered to get them back out. So I've just pulled out what I think I've worked on, or what I know I've worked on, rather. So I've got in this project bag, all the others have just been in plastic stuff. So this was a Barbara Anna Christmas SAL, and I've just made it into a project bag. And this holds all my, all the houses. And I've really only started 2 or 3, but I did work on, for one of the Bringo challenges, I worked on the this one, the Cottage. And this is a 40 count, excuse my voice, I'm very tired actually, 1/2. And I am looking forward to working on these. I did have a plan. I bought all the fabric, I cut it and serged it to size, and the plan was to start each one like Brenda Handwork Maniac did. She did hers on one big piece, but the plan was to start each one when they arrived, but that didn't happen. So, but I am looking forward to working on them at some point. So I've got all 13 now. They finally arrived. It takes a little bit longer in Australia, and the last couple, they had issues waiting for the specialty threads. This one is this is Bean Sprout. Oh yeah, Bean Sprout by Classic Colourworks. So we just waited until they came, and since I wasn't anywhere near starting them all, it didn't really matter. So they came a week or so ago, which was really exciting to get the last ones of those. So for my birthday last year, and I think I probably would have mentioned this in January, I started Long Dog Sampler, the Fisher King, because it came out on my birthday, and why not? And I knew Death by Cross Stitch was getting close. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to this as well. So I'll have 2 floating around in the Long Dog Sampler Stitch Along group. I'll have the other one and this one. And this is using, this is 22 count. Actually, I have a feeling that other one might have been 18 count, I think 18 count. And this one is 22, definitely 22 count. With Mrs. Sedus Silks, 1/1 full cross stitch. And when I pick this up, it's really hard to put it down. So that's that one. And that's just in a big, there's the Mrs. Sedus Silk. I just rolled it into a ball like I would if it was knitting yarn. So that's just in that plastic bag. I think I've only got one thing in here in a handmade project bag this time. I should, I've got other project bags. I should find them and upgrade. I think this is a Heaven and Earth Designs that I wouldn't mind getting towards the finish. It was a freebie a long time ago. I've had it on the go for a long time, and it's on 22 count Hardanger as well, which is what I like for my full coverage. So it's probably about halfway. If you sort of draw a line across it like this, I think it's probably about halfway. So I wouldn't mind working on that a bit more. I just realised the one I didn't get out was a Randall Spangler bookmark that we're working on. Kim Hollenbeck, who's in Full Coverage Fanatics, started a book club, bookshelf sell, where we could use those thin strips of fabric that are left over from working on HAEDs. I have worked on that, but I forgot to pull that one out. What have we got here? Oh, that's just the threads for that. See, and beautiful, beautiful project bag. I was working on Smaug or Smaug, I never know how to say it, from Tempting Tangles. She did a a mystery stitch along with this, and I've still got the bottom row of charts to go. This is also a, I think, 40 count. I'm really enjoying this raw kind of fabric at the moment. So that was 1/2. The tree, this tree covered hill gave me a bit of grief. But now it should be easy just to finish that, because that whole SAL's come out now, and I believe you can buy the pattern as a full pattern on Tempting Tangles website. And then someone the other day, so we're sort of working towards future, you know, a little bit. Someone the other day was talking about working on Morrison, and I bought this when it first came out. It was a SAL, and yeah, I think it was an exclusive for Traditional Stitches, and I ordered it just because I wanted to be part of the fun. And I have got the top bit done. I'll do it this way so you can see what we're doing. Maybe. Yeah, I've just got those top bands done. And I've been watching, you know, the various people who do a lot of samplers and thinking, oh, I should pull out another sampler. And so I thought, well, I might pull out this one and work on it for a bit. So I'm just saying it's all cross stitch all the way down. I think it's all cross stitch all the way down to here. And then we have some more fancy stuff going on. And I believe this heart is something, I don't know that it's an eyelet. I think there might be Smyrna crosses down there. Oh, Smyrna crosses are easy. Oh, this alphabet, sorry, I'm jumping around a bit. This alphabet here has got eyelets in it. And I don't mind doing eyelets. So I thought, well, maybe I'll pull this one out and make it a sampler one. And when someone talks about samplers and I feel like stitching a sampler, maybe just do this one. So that's just a maybe. So that brings us to, well, we're still in March, but April's coming up, and Magazine Monthly Challenge with Caroline and Robin are doing a new challenge called Springo. So what you do is you pick a chart that links with one of these, and it's like a bingo board, but instead of 5 by 5, it's 5 by 7. And when they call the number, and I haven't put my random numbers in yet, but when I put them in, they'll call the number, you work on whatever project relates to that number, and it only goes for 25 days. So you could be very unlucky and not get a single bingo. There's no diagonal ones in this because it's not square. And there was about two years ago, I think it was, Sarah Stitching Mummy and I were about the last people to get a bingo on whatever board we were doing at that time. I just remember we were going, we're never going to get one. And of course, because it was a proper bingo board, you did eventually get them, but we were the last two, I think, to actually get anything in a row. So I could be just as unlucky to do all this and not get a single bingo. But it's the fun. It's the fun of having someone call out a number the night before and working out what to stitch on. And because so many people in the group have enjoyed Bringo and AB Singo, they've made another one for us. So I have a few things. I haven't got them all sorted, but the rate my floss tubes are going, I thought I'll tell you what I've got. So, a new grandson was born last year, as I'm sure I told you, and all my grandchildren, and all my children and grandchildren have stockings. So I thought, well, he needs a stocking. I'm not making very good progress, but I did find this one by Carriage House Samplings, and I do like Carriage House Samplings. And I just love this, and I thought I'll really enjoy stitching on this. So I have started it, but not much. And this is I've even got a label on this. This is Zweigart Platinum 40 count from Stitches Merchant here in Australia. And I've just got those 2 top bands done. So this is the S for Springo for Skating Santa Stocking. So that'll be the S. So whatever she calls a number in the S row, I'll be working on this. And if my goal has always been that they would get a stocking on their second Christmas, which was sort of a bit, you know, logistical. That gives me an extra time, but we're already halfway through March, and his second Christmas will be this year. So if I want this one finished by his second Christmas, I'm going to have to pick up the pace. That belongs with that one. And this is still just in the plastic bag the pattern came in. So that's S. P, I've been watching a lot of Plum Street. I really like the Moon series. I did make the library one with the Jane Austen quote for my daughter-in-law, and I really enjoyed stitching it. I would really like to get the Winter Moon, but I haven't been able to get that quite yet. But I do have the Spring Moon. So this will be the P for Plum Street. And I have a tiny start on it. I've just started on the moon. And when I ordered this, I ordered some threads, but for some reason I did not order lily pad. A lily pad's the one that's used a lot in this green, and you actually need 2 skeins. So that's the other thing I'm hoping I'm going to be able to pick up at our new cross stitch shop, because it's Weeks Dye Works, and I believe she put a picture on Instagram. If you want to follow her, Coco X Stitch on Instagram, she had a picture of her hanging all the threads, and I think that were the Weeks. So I've got 2 skeins of Weeks and the DMC from the other project. So I've got a shopping list already. So that's just the other threads. And again, I told you what that one was. No, this one I think is 36 count. 1/2, I think. Oh, wait a minute, here's a label. Yes, 36 count. Light Mocha Edinburgh linen. And American guys, it's Edinburgh. It's not Edinburgh, it's Edinburgh. Just saying. That's how they pronounce it over there. So that's that one. So that's S&P, and then R will be for Rosewood Manor. And I'll be pulling out my lovely Camberley sampler, which I was enabled by Carolyn. And Carolyn, if you're watching, maybe you can have R for Rosewood Manor as well when you do your own Springo. But I do love this, and I would like to do more of it. I know I did one of the Bringo was I think there was something with a bird on it, so I stitched some of this for the bird, and there was something else. I believe these were used for the Bringo props. I've gone right across the top. It's a nice one. There's lots of different things to work on. I'd like to get the birds finished, because even though I know Robin Birdseye Stitcher loves birds, I did not really enjoy stitching on these birds. I ended up photocopying the chart and colouring them in as I went, because I couldn't work out where I was going. So I think I'd probably like to get the other bird done, and then I'll feel like it's all fun from there. So that'll come out for R. And then I, well, me, myself and I. Okay, got me, myself and I. This one, my son gave me some money for Mother's Day, and I bought the chart, and then my birthday, November, he said, what would you like? And I said, well, I'd like some linen. So I got this linen from Stitches Merchant. This is Fox and Rabbit Desert Taipan 40 count. And so that's what I am working on, 1/2. And obviously I'm just got a little bit, I've worked from the centre. I like to start in the top left corner, but with this one, because this is only a fat 1/8 and it will fit, but I just decided I should start in the middle to make sure I don't do something weird with my margins. So I started in my middle and I'm working my way back to this corner, and then I'll work down. So remember me, myself and I. So I for me, okay? So you'll see some more of that one. And that just lives in another plastic bag. So N is still up for grabs, and so is O. I haven't decided on those, but G will be the garden, Cloistered Garden, is it? The Fox and Rabbit stitch along for this year. So this is a 36 count 1/2, and I was really enjoying the 36 count 1/2 for the Autumn Lane Stitchery one, and so this is the third piece of fabric I got for this. So now I'm really enjoying it. I'm using a DMC variations and two or three plains that go with it. And Marches is out. Marches is this next bit, and because I was finishing Death by Cross Stitch like a maniac, I haven't got back to this. But this will be G for Spring Go. And also in my, so this is in this pencil case. So I think it's very appropriate for Fox and Rabbit stitch along. So just while we're on that, I'll show you the threads, I think. Hold on, I'll put them again. So do you know that if you look up the DMC Colorist, it's 4505 is my variegation. If you look up DMC 405 components, I can't remember, something like that, they actually tell you the numbers of the threads of the colours that make it up. So that's what I've done. I've pulled the colours that make up 4505. And so that's my palette for this. There's probably another purple somewhere. There were 2 greens and 2 purples. I don't know where the other purple's gone. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just working out where I want it. This next one's got a big sort of segmented flower here. I think I'll use the multicoloured for that, and then pick the other colours from that palette. So that's that one, and that's been really nice to work on. Jenny's doing a similar thing. Can't remember your Instagram, Jenny, off the top of my head. And then while I'm on this point, so also in this bag is last year's. And the plan, my plan for this year, was that when I finished the core for the garden one, I would then go back and finish the January core for last year. I'm not exactly sure what the cores are now because I've just got one full pattern. Anyway, this is where last year's got to. And this is using a Silks for You PR 126 Silks for You. Goodness knows what's going on there. It's come from somewhere else. Yeah, so that's been hanging around since last year. But as I said, this year's been a bit crazy. Oh, there's the other purple. It's a paler one. So that hasn't happened either. So I think that's where I'm at. That's where we're starting from this video onwards. Who knows? Well, my stepmother is very ill, so she has Alzheimer's, and she's deteriorating literally day by day. So there'll be another trip down there coming up. And then Riley, my grandson, his baby dedication is supposed to be on Sunday the 23rd of March, which is Sunday week. And she's in Sydney and I'm in Brisbane, so we're still just working, trying to work out how we're going to manage everything. So there's going to be a couple of trips coming up. So I'll keep you informed as to what I pull out, but don't hold your breath on another video anytime regularly. I just wanted to make another one because I've been as I've been finishing Death by Cross Stitch and working on the other things, I've been watching a lot of Flosstube, and I've been very much enjoying all our favourites. Carol Soapbox, Brenda and Laura, Tara Sully Stitches, Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, who's changed her channel name, I think. And there's been a few coming out from Market, which have been a lot of fun. So, and sorry, I should write down what I've been watching. I've been watching Jordan, the Tattooed Stitcher. Bead Stitch is Maureen. Is that right? Have I got her name right? I think so. Yeah, and there's others that and of course, Caroline, Magazine Monthly Challenge. She's always my Sunday afternoon stitch. Watch, I mean, yeah, stitch and watch. I enjoy her as well. And as I'm thinking, there's Mama Loves You GB, and there's some other new ones that have just been coming out, which I should try and write down their names because they're new, and you might like to find someone else. Oh, Adelaide Stitches, she's Australian. And I always want to make her come from Adelaide, but she doesn't come from Adelaide. She's Australian. And Nerissa, New Zealander, and Lizzie the Stitcher from New Zealand as well. Yeah, the brain's sluggish today, and I should have written them down. Anyway, I usually do my show notes before I film, so I can work through my show note piece. But today I've got a quiet morning at home. I thought if I don't grab the opportunity while it's quiet here to do this, it probably won't happen until April. So I will endeavour to do those show notes now that I don't require a quiet environment to do them. And they should be up possibly by the time I put this one up as well. So everyone, happy stitching. Thank you for those who are watching me, my little corner of the cross stitch world. And I'll see you all in your next video. Bye.